Towns to villages, Zambia's story and your passions. Tune in now and let's vibe, Zambia. Bmtv, Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
Good evening, and thank you for choosing BMTV as your trusted source of news at 18 hours. We appreciate you joining us and making us part of your evening. Wherever you're watching from, we've got you covered. We're live on Topstar channel 114, live on Facebook as BMTV channel 114 on YouTube. That's our commitment. I'm glad that you've joined us tonight because in a world where headlines move fast, we focus on what really matters, bringing you clarity, context, and credible reporting with just the right touch of perspective. Now, let's get straight into the stories that are making headlines this evening. Zambian Zoka Tollgate renaming sparks mixed reactions and international news. Ugandan Parliament passes controversial sovereignty bill after amendments, while in sports, NSCZ hands over basketball gear as 3x3 rankings rise. To present the news in deep credence, from Zambia's ambassador, Lieutenant General Sitali Dennis Aliwuzwi, crediting him as a non-resident ambassador to Paraguay. The ceremony held at Palacio de los Lopez in Asunción marks a key step in strengthening diplomatic relations between Zambia and Paraguay. During the engagement, President Pena praised the long-standing bilateral ties and urged Ambassador Aliwuzwi to actively engage Paraguay's government and business community to unlock new areas of cooperation. He also highlighted his familiarity with Zambia's economic landscape gained during his time at the International Monetary Fund. In response, Ambassador Aliwuzwi conveyed President Hichilema's commitment to deepening relations with a focus on agriculture, trade, and investment. The ambassador further pledged to strengthen cooperation across political, economic, social, and cultural sectors, noting that increased trade and investment remain central to Zambia's economic transformation agenda. Residents of Kalingalinga have expressed growing concern over the continued high cost of living, accusing the current administration of failing to effectively address the economic challenges affecting ordinary citizens. Some residents have gone further to compare the situation with previous governments, suggesting that past regimes performed better in managing the cost of living. Our reporter, Sontua Morris Sinkala, brings details in the following report.
The residents of Kalingalinga compound in Lusaka have raised concerns over the continued high cost of living, accusing the current administration of failing to adequately address the economic challenges affecting ordinary citizens. A check by this reporter found that many residents are struggling to meet basic needs, with prices of essential commodities remaining high.
Chilamo abalanda ngabatuforesha babaforesha tulatu manani kana tumandala bale baforesha ngabashita mafyesa kana abungana tusala dishi ndalama yapo.
Some residents have since compared the current situation to the previous administrations, claiming that the cost of living was more manageable in the past.
Muri PF mwenze kadarizim bantu kwenze libepisi but muri UPND muri pisi ni ndrama chesi oneka ndrama inga
tenali kudia katatu or 4 times hapa manja muri akaini au njala onani so hapa kimi nisasonani so so kuvuta kwa vintu muri njala muchani murachanya chani yanandani muri njala mwana titafa isefuna njala.
However, in an exclusive interview, National Youth Secretary for the UPND, Samuel Ngwira, has defended the UPND government, describing it as capable and responsive to the needs of the people.
It doesn't help anybody to go into appeasements because there is an election that is coming. If it was those years back in history, you could have seen a lot of things being done at the expense of the very development that we talk about. But this is a government that has stayed the course. It has decided to bite the bullet for the good of the country in the long term.
Mr. Ngwira stated that the government has made notable strides in fulfilling its campaign promises and maintaining democratic values. He added that despite the current economic pressure, the UPND administration remains committed to implementing policies aimed at stabilizing the economy and improving the livelihoods of Zambians. Reporting for BMTV News, this is Son Twa.
A decision to rename a major toll gate along the Kabwe-Chiwombo stretch has triggered debate after authorities replaced the name of football icon Godfrey Chitalu with that of the late politician Anderson Kambela Mazoka, drawing mixed reactions from political players and the public. Sontra Morris Sinkala brings more details in this report.
As Zambia Republican Party President and the PF Pamoza Alliance National Mobilization Chairperson, we condemn in the strongest terms the attempt by Hakainde Friuka Chitalu to Anderson Kambela Mazoka. We feel this is wrong for this nation. Godfrey Chitalu was a legend who put this nation on a world map. And as a matter of fact, Godfrey Chitalu died saving this nation.
Has arrested and charged Zambia Institute of Mass Communications accountant Charles Mubanga for alleged abuse of authority of office involving 300,000 kwacha. Mubanga, 56, of Silverest in Chongwe, faces 3 counts of abuse of authority of office, contrary to Section 21(1)(a), as read with the Section 41 of the alleged offences occurred between January 1st and December 31st, 2018 in Lusaka District, when Mubanga served as acting executive director at Zamcom. It is alleged that he arbitrarily awarded himself a 30% salary increment without approval from the institution's board. During the same period, he was also accused of promoting a staff member without following Zamcom conditions of service or obtaining board approval. In addition, Mubanga allegedly increased salaries for 5 employees beyond the approved 9% threshold set by the board. The SEC states that irregular salary increments and promotions resulted in a loss of government revenue amounting to 300 soon. Zambia and Tanzania have recorded a combined trade value of over 11.8 billion United States dollars between 2023 and 2025. This was revealed during the 5th Joint Trade Committee meeting currently taking place in Tunduma, where officials from both countries are discussing ways to strengthen trade relations and improve broader efficiency. Ministry of Commerce Permanent Secretary Mrs. Walia said, despite fluctuations in annual figures, the trade relationship between the 2 countries remains strong with significant growth and potential. She says the trade stood at $10.3 billion in 2023, dropped to $600 million in 2025. More details from this clip.
These engagements are fundamental to sustaining momentum in our bilateral relations, advancing regional integration, and unlocking new opportunities for growth and shared prosperity. Zambia and Tanzania's trade corridor remains a critical artery for both bilateral and regional commerce. Enhancing its efficiency is therefore central to our shared development agenda. It is imperative that we continue to collaborate in improving border operations, addressing non-tariff barriers, and streamlining regulatory processes that affect the seamless movement of goods and services. Therefore, I'm confident that the deliberations of this committee will yield practical, actionable, as well as forward-looking outcomes that will not only strengthen our bilateral trade relations, but also contribute meaningfully to broader regional integration objectives under the Southern African Development Community as well as the African Continental Free Trade Area frameworks. Trade between Zambia and Tanzania totally approximately 11.8 billion between 2023 to 2025. This was heavily influenced by year 2023, which recorded total trade of about 10.3 billion. Trade levels normalized thereafter, with total trade declining about 600 million in 2024 and recovering in.
Meanwhile, the first phase of the Nakonda border expansion project has been completed to help ease congestion and improve operations at the border. And Tanzania's Deputy Permanent Secretary for Industry Trade, Mr. Aristides Mbwasi, described Zambia as one of Tanzania's key partners in the SADC region. The Joint Trade Committee is expected to conclude with a ministerial session on May 7th, 2026. More details from the following clip.
Dear Co-Chair, in recent years, from 2023 to 2025, our bilateral relations have been further strengthened by high-level engagements, including the state visit by the President of the United Republic of Tanzania to Republic of Zambia, and the reciprocal visit by the President of the Republic of Zambia to Tanzania. These visits underscore the depth of our partnership and the shared commitment. This fifth meeting, therefore, serves not only as a continuation of our technical engagements, but as an important mechanism for implementing the directives issued during these high-level visits. It is through this platform that we translate the visions and commitments of our esteemed leaders in benefits to our people. These meetings also provide us with an important opportunity to build upon the solid foundation laid during our previous engagements. I'm pleased to note that the commendable progress made in the implementation of decisions agreed upon during our fourth meeting. These achievements are a clear testament to our collective dedication and the effectiveness of this platform as a mechanism for advancing our shared trade and economic objectives.
Former Milanzi Member of Parliament, Whiteson Banda, has joined the opposition Citizens First Party. Mr. Banda expressed confidence that CF President Harry Kalaba will gain strong support in Eastern Province and across the country. He pledged to work and ensure that the party achieves a smooth transition into State House, Mkaika constituencies in Katete district of Eastern Province. He thanked Mr. Banda for joining what he described as the fastest growing opposition political party in Zambia. This is contained in a statement issued by the CF media team. We take our first commercial break, and when we return, international news. Please do stay with us. Please do stay with us.
Early exposure to that kind of environment. I had a lot of friends from Maremba and who later became as Jarabu. Even behaving in certain kind of like you wouldn't just accept like I was like that. So to some extent it pushed me away, almost like disowning. A lot of the problem came. Whatever was happening in our family, my father was always blaming my mother. So when I was going maybe to drink, to watch soccer at the club, I've got maybe 15 guys outside just waiting for me, and I've got maybe 5 guys inside the club. Those 15 like maybe are hardcore stone dealers that can't even enter. I'm even just say something that happens, but you see what all that effort was for me to be safe, but I was attracting way much more violence. My father gave me the money and I did everything academically. I could have
been doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and I prefer this. So all the grudge that I had with my father.
When you look back, what would you say you would do differently today?
I keep digging deep inside the place I'm warm.
Intended to ease some of its harsher elements. The Protection of Sovereignty Bill was approved late Tuesday following a tense debate. Lawmakers agreed to remove a clause that would have classified Ugandans living abroad as foreigners and also introduced exemptions for certain institutions such as medical, academic and faith-based organizations from limiting on foreign funding. Despite these adjustments, the law makes it a criminal offense to engage in activities considered to advance the interests of a foreigner against those of Uganda, and designates individuals or groups receiving foreign funding as agents of foreigners. Anyone, Africa News has more details.
Uganda's parliament has passed a contentious new law critics warn could be used to cite changes that removed a clause classifying including medical, academic and faith-based organizations from restrictions on foreign funding. The legislation criminalizes actions deemed to protect the interest of a foreigner against those of Uganda and labels individuals or groups receiving foreign funding as agents of foreigners. Those convicted under the law could face prison sentences of up to 20 years. The bill's proposer argued it was designed to protect Uganda's self-governance without undue external interference and bars designated agents from engaging in political activities linked to foreign interests. However, rights groups, opposition figures and sections of the business community have strongly criticized the law, warning it mirrors foreign agent legislation used in countries like Russia.
Africa's foreign minister has spoken to government authorities in Nigeria and Ghana after a series of demonstrations against migrants. Thousands of protesters in South Africa have been calling on the government to deport foreigners. They want tougher action against illegal immigration and sales. We monitored Al Jazeera News.
After weeks of anti-migrant protests, Ethiopian business owner, who we'll call Ahmed, says he's packing up his shop for fear of harassment and looting. He's been living in Durban for 20 years and says this is not the first time he's seen demonstrations against foreigners.
When this kind of situation, and it's not easy to recover. As I said, we are not corporates who are backed by the insurance companies or the government.
Ahmed wants his identity hidden for fear of reprisal. He says he's concerned by the continuing intimidation of foreigners.
If you know yourself that you're not...
As seen in this video, discharged at a public clinic. They're then told to leave. Those protesting say they're against illegal immigration. They say these migrants are draining resources meant for South Africans. This is Addington Primary School in Durban. It's where in January protests demanding spot bans of South Africans.
And the most time when is near elections, either is a local or national election, we've been experiencing this kind of attacks to our foreign national.
The most recent marches have taken place in the capital Pretoria and in Johannesburg. Protesters blame foreigners, mostly other Africans, for taking jobs and the high crime rate. The tensions have strained relations with countries like Ghana and Nigeria. While Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, has condemned the demonstrations, he says he's spoken with officials in those countries to deal with irregular migration.
We did engage to the extent that there is also disinformation that is widespread. Some of the things, the videos are not reality of what is happening in South Africa. And this is also the same engagement I've had with my counterpart from Nigeria. There is marches that are happening that all of you have seen. And we did confirm that we condemn any violence that comes with these marches.
Foreign nationals blame local authorities for not adequately dealing with immigration, and the renewal also blame local authorities, but for corruption. Famida Mala, Al Jazeera.
We'll take our second and last commercial break. When we return, sports news.
New vibes with Bmtv. Get ready, Zambia, because Bmtv is about to bring you the hits with local stories, drama, comedy, and news that is all about you. Local vibes only. Catch stories from Lusaka to Livingston, towns to villages, Zambian stories told by Zambians. Drama and entertainment, from townships to trending shows, we have the best local content. News that you care about, local news, national pride, and your passions. Tune in now and let's vibe, Zambia. BMTV, Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
Welcome back, and now sports news. The National Sports Council of Zambia, NCZ, has officially handed over basketball equipment donated by the FIBA to support the growth of sport in the country. The donation includes 2 game clocks, one for the 3x3 basketball and another for the traditional 5-on-5 format, an electronic scoreboard, a total of 260 basketballs, 40 designated for the 3x3 and 220 size 7 boards, as well as a fully equipped 3x3 court. This support follows Zambia's notable rise in the global 3x3 rankings achieved through consistent participation in international competitions. The improved standing has positioned the country as an emerging contender in the fast-growing format of the game. Speaking during the handover ceremony, NSCZ Chief Executive Officer Sombwa Musunsa urged the Zambia Basketball Federation to accelerate the expansion of the 3x3 basketball across all provinces. He emphasized that decentralizing the sport is key to unlocking its full potential. More details.
Gratitude to our president, but also the Minister of Youth Sport and Arts, who continues to urge all the federations to work extra hard, take advantage of the environment that the government has created for sports. We are thankful to our Member Secretary, Mr. Gambas, as well, who is managing sports effectively and making sure that everyone that is involved in sport development moves as one family, so that at the end of the day, we feel the impact of sport development in the country. Now, coming to the equipment, and when you look at the 7 pillars of international and indeed national sporting success, one of those pillars is infrastructure. And when we're talking about infrastructure, include equipment. And indeed, when we're talking about equipment, we are referring to quality equipment. And the equipment that you see here from the 250 basketball, 250 basketball.
Arsenal are through to the 2025-2026 UEFA. It finished 1-0 on the night, with Saka scoring the decisive goal just before halftime, pouncing on a rebound to seal a 2-1 aggregate win. The match itself was tense and tactical, with limited chances, but Arsenal showed defensive discipline and composure to shut out Atletico and book their place in the final for the first time in nearly 2 decades. The goalscorer Bukayo Saka was ecstatic in the following clip.
For this team, for this club.
Hey, you're taking me away from the celebrations, man. It's so beautiful. You'd love to see what it means to us, what it means to the fans. Yeah, we're also happy.
What pulled you through? They say about managing games, you take the lead. It's easier said than done sometimes to do that.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. You know, this game is a high-pressure game. It means a lot to both sides, and we managed to manage it well and take ourselves to the final, so we're happy.
And what about the atmosphere this crowd generated this evening?
Yeah, it started before the game, you know, when we were arriving on the coaches. I've never seen anything like it. And they pushed us and pushed us and pushed us, and they got this moment in the end, so we're celebrating it together.
Your 81st goal for Arsenal. Has there been a more special one? As well about the goal itself, a mix of patience and positivity to your play, but the way it went over the top to Victor, and there you were.
Yeah, in those situations I just try and stay alive, and you know, sometimes it bounces for you, sometimes it doesn't, but you have to be there, and I was there and it fell for me, and I got my goal, so glory to God, thank God, and we go to the final now.
Just sum it up in terms of this team, because you've been under a lot of pressure in recent weeks. You would have seen that as well happening from a distance, so do you feel you've come through a psychological barrier?
Yeah, well, there's no way you're going to come to this position and not have pressure, you know. We're in the semi-finals, well, now we're in the final of the Champions League. Let me correct myself, and we're fighting for the Premier League. So how can you not expect for people to talk about you and for people to criticise you? You know, that's why we have to block it out, focus on getting the job done, and we did that, and yeah, another step forward.
Listen, the guy who was in Mikel Arteta's first ever team in 2019, you've been the match winner tonight.
Sorry, say that again.
You were in Mikel Arteta's first ever team, 2019 Boxing Day. So a fitting match winner.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story, and I hope it ends well in Budapest.
Well, all attention now turns to tonight's blockbuster semi-final clash between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, with the winner set to face Arsenal in the final in Budapest on May 30th, 2026. And that brings us to the end of our main news bulletin at 18 hours. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. Zambian envoy presents credentials in Paraguay. Kalingalinga residents decry the high cost of living. Mazoka Tollgate renaming sparks mixed reactions, while in international news, Ugandan parliament passes controversial sovereignty bill after amendments, and in sports, NSCZ hand over basketball gear as 3x3 rankings rise. Before we go, a special word of appreciation to a dedicated production team. Douglas Banda on transmission, Jackson Tembo on camera 1, Aldridge Kampamba on camera 2, our reporters, Sontua Morris Sinkala and Ruth Musakabantu. Your hard work behind the scenes and in the field keeps this broadcasting running smoothly. This has been Tamani Nkata. Thank you for choosing BMTV and also for spending your time with